Welcome. This is JC. Today we're going to try something a little bit different. And this pertains to retirement also, but the rest of our lives even more. You ever get to that point sometimes in a day when you start to do something and all of a sudden you stop and you go, one of two things. I totally forget what I'm here for, or I'm being an idiot about how I do this. That happens to all of us. This episode is sort of like what they call a TED Talk. Totally embarrassing disasters. And we all have them at some point, everybody. And if you don't have them, sometimes that means you're not really challenging yourself. You can't be afraid to sometimes walk off the cliff. So today, let's venture into the world of idiocy. We're all there. Stand by. Welcome back. Okay, first of all, none of us are born geniuses. Let's face it, when we come out, all we're really doing is shooting fluids out of every opening we have in our body. So let's face it, you're not an Einstein when you're first born. But to get there, we have to go through a lot of stages. Things just happen. You know, you think you're being really cool about doing something and you're not. And here's for instance, like your first yoga class, okay? Your first yoga class. You've got the nice yoga outfit on and you're doing that, I think they call it a downward dog, you know, where your legs are straight and you're trying to touch the ground. And you're thinking, am I having the pose right? Or for the first time you're doing it, you're thinking, can I not fart while I'm doing this? I mean, I'm just trying to just not do that. So there's things that happens. That just happens. Like when I tried to learn how to play guitar. And I'm not a guitar player. And I turned up my amp and I hit a chord. And basically it sounded like somebody had taken a chainsaw to an electrical socket. It was really, really bad. Really bad. And annoying too. And over the years, you learn from doing things like that. So have I learned about getting better at playing guitar? No, I'm terrible. But what I did learn is if I turn the volume down to like almost zero, nobody can really hear how bad I am. So you learn to adapt. That's how it goes, really. And that's how it goes in retirement. You know, you have all these grand plans. I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy that. And then when you sit down and you look at it and you say, you know what? I really can't afford that. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? I was going to buy 3 houses and live on a lake in Lake Tahoe with my Social Security income. The thought's good. The concept's good. Execution, probably not going to work out so well. But we all have those. We all have those, really idiotic thoughts at sometimes, and it just doesn't happen, and it's not going to happen. But you learn from it. So maybe instead you go for vacation in this fabulous place. So we all have those. And idiocy is just I guess you'd call the opening act. That's how we all learn. You can say it's a life lesson. That sounds much better than saying, you know what? I was just an idiot. So, at first you don't know how to do it. You do things really bad. After a while, you get a little bit better. And finally, as far on as you go, somebody says, wow, how'd you get so good at that? And, from being an idiot for such a long time, you learn how to turn it up a little bit. But it really doesn't matter. What I like about it is sort of being clueless is sort of a great equalizer. It doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how many degrees you have, what fancy magazines you read. The smartest people, just sometimes their flops just involve a lot more paperwork, a lot more shuffling under the table there, so you don't notice it as much. But I swear, I saw a guy, and he had his lab coat on at the gas station. Okay. Now, he's at the gas station. He's got his credit card out, and he's waving it in front of the card reader like it's a motel room door. And he's like waving, upside down. He looks like he's trying to flag in an airliner to park. And I see him, and he looks so frustrated. I said, "Yeah, you all good?" He goes, "No, this thing's not working." I said, "Look, dude, you put it in the slot. You don't have to wave it. Just put it in the slot." Ah, gotcha. So he figured that out. So it doesn't matter really how smart you are. You look for a chemical reaction in something, and you've studied all these, how all these chemicals work together. You say, "Man, this doesn't work." And then you go, "Oh, wait, this one chemical isn't even involved in this." So, now it works. So we all have that. And this is probably one of the weirder stories I've ever heard. Tesla, okay? The real Tesla, the guy who invented basically the kind of electricity we're working with now. He once said he fell in love with a pigeon. And he actually stated, "I love this pigeon like a man loves a woman." This is Tesla. So first of all, the fact that he said that and repeated that several times, actually, you don't know what to say to that except, okay, we're moving on, and I'm glad you invented electricity the way we use it now. So remember, it doesn't matter how smart you are. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad that you haven't, because you have 4 degrees in biochemistry, you can't figure something out, or where your keys are. You're real normal. And remember, again, going through this is the great equalizer. We all have it, no matter what we do, where we go. And in retirement, it's the same way. You're going to get there and you're going to say, "Oh man, I have all these plans. This is going to work out perfectly." Things do not work out perfectly. We all know that. We can try things, and you go back and you say, "Is there a reason I did that?" So think about that. Think about the fact that if you don't try something, maybe it's even worse. So in closing, I want to say, don't be afraid to be an idiot. Don't be afraid. It's really, you have to be brave enough to do something that's really pushing the envelope. It isn't shameful. It's human. It's sort of the bridge between "I don't know" and "look what I can do." You have to try it. You're never going to learn something by being afraid to fall on your face. And even better, when you do, you look at yourself and you laugh. You got to be able to laugh at the things you do sometimes, because that really makes it, even the more mistakes you make, the more you laugh, the more you enjoy life. So this is JC saying thank you very much for joining me. Don't be afraid to go out and make those huge mistakes. Be careful, enjoy yourself, but make sure you enjoy life the best you can, because there's so much to enjoy. We'll talk soon.